Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. In a video earlier today, I mentioned that the Bute House Agreement was hanging by a thread. In fact, really, it's hanging by two threads. One is the problems they're having with the climate agreement that they had collapsing, and the other one is the SNP's approach to the CAS report and the banning of puberty blockers. Obviously, the Greens seem to think that by completely destroying the economy to save the planet will somehow save the planet, just at the same time as India is boasting it's burnt 1 billion tonnes of coal. And they also are really objecting to protecting children from being sterilised on an industrial scale. They're really up for that kind of thing. They want to destroy children's lives. And they're really upset that people don't like it. So we'll take a look here very quickly as to both these things. I'm not going to go into too much depth in either of them because we both know the kind of thing that they're after, but it is interesting to see that there are different attempts and different fights, two different battles, both that will end up possibly ending the Bute House Agreement. And that will upset both the Imp and Jeffrey and of course Gross Rhea, because they all really like their huge pay they're getting from being in there. It's a shame, isn't it? Anyway, here goes. Right, so first of all, we'll have a look at the climate argument. So the scrapping of net zero targets and the pause in prescribing puberty blockers to children has caused a rift in the nationalist camp between the two parties. And it's not good for either of them. So the controversial Bute House agreement between the SNP and the Scottish Greens is hanging by a thread after a miserable 24 hours for the nationalists. Influential Green figures are now questioning the deal, which allows Humza Yousaf to rule with a majority at Holyrood. The grubby little coalition, agreed by Nicola Sturgeon in 21 and backed by Mr Yousaf when he became First Minister, also sees Green co-leaders Patrick Harvie and Lorna Slater in ministerial roles, for which they enjoy full ministerial pay. And so they are desperate to keep the Bute House Agreement going at any excuse because they need the money. They've had all these various red lines. They said, if you do this, you breach red line here, breach. And if they say, if you breach those red lines, we walk. Every red line has been breached and never have they walked. Because money speaks all languages. When they hear the sound of a ka-ching, they're hanging on. They're not walking away from that. The Scottish Government announced a U-turn on net zero targets, as well as the news that NHS health boards will stop prescribing puberty blockers to under 18s, and it has cast doubt over the future of the agreement. Scottish Green Party councillor Chaz Booth is amongst those who are about to raise concerns, and he said he's written to the party executive demanding an extraordinary general meeting to be held as soon as reasonably possible to consider withdrawing from the Bute House Agreement. And he has criticised Mary McCallan's announcement that the Nationalist Executive was scrapping its targets to reduce carbon emissions by 75% by 2030 because it is impossible. It's absolutely impossible. It was never possible. It's not something that we'll achieve it. No, it was never, ever achievable. Now they're pushing it back to 2045 and it will still be unachievable for various reasons. Posting on X, the Leith councillor said that while he was never a fan of the agreement, he had accepted the democratic vote of party members to go into the power sharing agreement with the SNP. But, he said, in the wake of Ms McCallan's statement, he says, I'm forced to conclude that our party is being used as a fig leaf for the SNP's woeful and inexcusable climate inaction. I have therefore written to the chair of the SGP party executive to call for them to call an EGM as soon as reasonably possible to consider withdrawing from the Bute House Agreement. And he said there'd been anger on a party member's call on Thursday evening as a result of the Greens being part of a government abandoning climate targets. The party's Glasgow campaign manager Ellie Gomersall also criticised the announcement, saying, I was proud to vote for the BHA, but so much has changed since 2021. The SNP have played us for fools. It's time to step away. Green MSP's attempting to spin the announcement is also likely to have caused concern among the membership. So they're really upset at the Saturday girl sitting there scrapping this promise that they made because it's unachievable, because, they're all morons. And so the Greens are unhappy, although they're never happy. They're a fairly miserable lot. You have to be fairly miserable, I think, to be a Green in the first place. I think it's all that tofu. It's not very good for you. Very miserable. When you look at your food, you get no joy out of tofu, do you? But anyway, there she is. Humza's mate, in, I think, every sense of the word. So we've got that side of the argument. Now I'm going to go across here, because that's within the Scottish Daily Express, as you see. Now there's a piece, it's in several, but I'm just going to nip across here to STV News, because literally that was the first one I picked up on when I was looking at it. Because this is the other argument they've got, that they are about to split. I might just have to move this over. So LGBT Greens, so the gay Greens, say the party could leave government over the puberty blockers pause. Furious Green Party members have launched a petition on the future of the Bute House Agreement. So they're looking at splitting now, not just because of the climate thing, but also because of the stance on puberty blockers. The Greens are furious that children are going to be protected. They're furious that little boys can't be made into little girls. Even though the cash report says that 97.5% of them that go through this shouldn't. And there's got to be a massive backlash on the NHS. But for them, it's more important that children have their lives destroyed for the sake of political ideology than they're protected. And they are absolutely angry with that. So there's another thing. Let them show how angry they are that children are protected and to leave. So the Scottish Greens are facing a revolt from the LGBT members of the party, furious at the NHS's decision to pause the prescription of life-changing medications, life-destroying medications for new patients. Rainbow Greens suggested that co-leaders Patrick Harvey and Lorna Slater, who are also government ministers, could abandon their deal with the SNP. But as I say, the Imp and Jeffrey rather like the money, so they're going to fight against this. And this is a problem. This is a problem for Jeffrey in particular, not for for the Imp in particular, because obviously he is gay. He's a member of that group. And while the group that he is a member of will say, no, we need to leave, he will be arguing to stay. And he'll give it's better that we're on the inside of the tent thing, as he's picking up his big wage. But people will see right through him, and they'll know that this lack of commitment is that he's not really agreeing, he's agreed. Anyway, the group, which represents LGBT members of the party, claims the Scottish Government does not care about the welfare or rights of transgender people in Scotland. No, but it does care about the rights and welfare of children. The decision by the Scottish NHS to stop the treatment at the Sandyford Clinic, they say, follows a major review into gender care in England that found that the medicine was built on very shaky foundations. First Minister Hamza Yousaf said his government will consider every recommendation of the CAS review. And in the meantime, they've put the pause on. And that's really upset the weirdos in the Greens. Well, I don't care what reason they use, be it climate, be it the sexualisation of children and the destruction of children. Jeffrey and the Imp can sod off out of government, take the Greens with them, let the SNP become a minority party, and we can lose all their pathetic, stupid, rubbish ideas that are damaging to the economy, to people's futures, to jobs and everything. And let them return back to the fringes of extremist politics, and with them their horrible child abusing ways. Thanks very much. I'm going to come up and we'll finish this video. I think Shakespeare summed it up really in Macbeth, didn't he? Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once. And he was quite right. The bard had it. We do not care why they leave. Their time is up. Their race is run. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe upon misty mountain top. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and it's time for one without the Greens in power, and the sooner they go, the better for all. Thanks very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.